Hey everybody.
What's going on?
It's those Baxters. It's Miss Kayla.
And I'm Juan.
And guess what? We have an interview today. Isreal Houghton,
Say
Grammy
what?
Award Winner. Isreal Houghton, y'all. What you want to ask him?
How come he always carry his guitar?
Okay, that's good. I don't know what I'm going to ask him. We're going to figure it out. But we're going to talk about the road to Damascus today. And we have Temple University Gospel Choir that's going to join us. So it's going to be hot. Y'all watch.
And guess who else?
What?
You. Yeah, you.
So come on.
Yeah, man.
So Isreal, it is a blessing to have you here with us and also to have you listen to the choir and encourage them. We want to talk to you about and learn more about the road to Damascus. Yeah, so we had the privilege of listening. Yeah, and Promise Keeper.
Yeah.
You know, but first I want to ask you about the road to Damascus and why you chose that name for your album.
Yeah, it was weird. It's the first time I've done a record where I felt like I had the title of the record before I had the songs. And part of that was I was talking to my brother-in-law about 3 years ago, and he was concerned. He's like, "How you doing? You know, I went through a divorce. It was kind of public and all that kind of stuff. How you doing with everything?" And I said, like, I kind of feel like I've had like my own road to Damascus experience. And he looked at me and he kind of chuckled when I said that, and he said, "Do you see that?" And it was as if the words were in the air above us while we were talking. And I said, "DeMaskUs," as opposed to Damascus in Syria. DeMaskUs. And it hit me it was sort of like a light bulb moment for both of us, where it was like, you know, Paul was knocked off his horse and had a face-to-face encounter with God. I've been saying it like this. I feel like one night I went to bed on top of the world, and the next day I woke up with the world on top of me. And in that, you know, you could either fight that or you could go, okay, what's this all for? And so for me, it was like just an invitation to live an authentic life. And that sounds crazy because I've been a Christian and I've been a Christian artist and I've been a spokesperson for the brand of Christianity so long that you could do the work of the Lord and yet almost not know the Lord of the work that you're doing. And I felt like, you know, I had a realization like, man, I've been striving and chasing and doing so much, but yet I don't feel like I'm living an authentic life. Then I literally had to go, you know, like once I went through this divorce and stuff, I kind of went through some counseling and stuff and walked back like 40 years of my life. I realized if you're raised in church, anybody here raised in church? All right, so if you're raised in church, it's almost expected that you live out, regardless of how you're really feeling and regardless of what's really going on around you, that you live out that God is good all the time and all the time God is good, and therefore you kind of got to protect the brand and smile through it all. Because anytime you go, hey, I want to be honest about something, like all hell's breaking loose in my life or my family or my home or my school or whatever, people almost will use that weakness against you, use that humanness and that honesty against you. And unfortunately, like, we've seen that in the church. Like, people who do get caught in being human end up getting so marginalized and put on the sidelines for the rest of their life. For me, I was fortunate to be able to say, hey, ain't nobody know what I've been through, so I'm going to tell my own story. And that was important for me because I felt like the mask I had been wearing for 42 years in the name of protection and self-preservation was actually suffocating me. And I was losing oxygen. You know, you understand the difference. So I think I'm doing good by, you know, protecting myself and not letting people see me in my true, you know, human self. And instead it was like literally cutting off oxygen and disabling me from helping the people that I wanted to help. I mean, on my worst day, I still love people. And on my worst day, I still want to be an encouragement to somebody else. That's why I love being involved in gospel music, because gospel in its true definition is good news. And I mean, listen, man, you could flip to any channel on your phone right now that is news oriented, and you're going to get bad news guaranteed. Right now, if we all just went to whatever your news of choice is, the first story is going to be bad news. I guarantee it. Like, there's a lot going on in the world right now. So to be able to counterbalance that with good news is the only thing that was getting me out of bed even then. But this is a very long answer to your question.
That's a great answer.
So for me, it was about finding the courage to take the mask off and go, like it or not, this is what's really going on. And I was willing to lose everything, and in many cases I did lose everything. And yet I never looked back at that going, oh man, I lost everything. Like in some negative sense, it's like, no, I found myself through all of it, and I found what is real, and now I don't have to juggle, okay, I told a lie to this person, so let me balance that with this other lie. You know, that is taxing, man. When you can just go, this is what it really is, God bless you, love it or hate it.
We understand it.
Yeah, do you?
We understand it. Try to be real inside this business. And be authentic. Sometimes people look at you like, y'all life not really like that. And we like, yes it is. But we at the same time, we also have our bad times.
Sure. And everybody does. That's life.
Like, it's life. If you walk through life and saying that your life is perfect, you must have been Jesus. You must have been Jesus.
And I mean, unfortunately, most consumers, churchgoers, people who follow the Christian scene expect that your life is perfect. That they actually expect you to not have a bad day. You know, I remember years ago, I think I was being racially profiled at the airport, which is always interesting because it's a half tension for me. I'm half black and half white, so I'm half upset that I'm being racially profiled. But it was just horrible. It was like one of those days where everything is just not working, and so I finally speak up. I'm like, listen, you know, and I said something, you know, sort of loud. It was a long time ago. I've overcome this, but this lady, man, just with the most like syrupy judgment just dripping off her, goes, you know, I used to listen to your music, but after seeing you today, I'm done listening to your music. And it was just me just going, yo, can we please get some answers here, you know? And I was like, man, that quick, huh? Just like that. So you are not allowed to have a human rough day, man. And I get the responsibility that comes with that kind of platform. My problem was I was pursuing the platform so hard at the expense of my own peace. And so I was willing to go, what would I rather have? A platform where I feel low-key suicidal sometimes in my life. And I've been an optimistic, gregarious, outgoing person my whole life. But I found myself in such a dark season where I'm like, yo, if this plane goes down, that's cool. And I couldn't believe that I was saying stuff like that. And so just complete absence of peace while I'm trying to worship the Prince of Peace and help others experience the peace that I was not finding. And so at that point I said I would rather have a life of peace and simplicity over the life on the platform. And so that's my experience, and that's what gave me the courage to do it.
It makes me even, looking at your album and the song that you start with, Secrets.
Secrets, yeah.
You know, you're starting by even deciding to reveal those secrets, to take off that mask. And how important that is.
That song, so it's really funny.
To find out the answer to that question and more, subscribe to our YouTube page and be one of the first to see the next video while we're on the road to Damascus with Isreal Houghton.